That way you can kind of like focus too. That helps me kind of center myself. But also you can work on getting that tone and kind of breathe. And don't forget to breathe too. I notice you get kind of stiff sometimes. I used to do that all the time. I would be playing and I would kind of be like after I finish, it's like I ran a marathon. Like, don't, stifle yourself in any way. So kind of practice that before. Just to kind of relax and get that good sound. That'll help you out a lot. Let's see. Yeah, I want to hear another run through. I think I've really told you everything that I want you to do, phrasing wise. I want you to try and incorporate it. You can use the music this time, look at the dynamics, where they're happening, where the phrases are ending and beginning, and kind of just like imagine it as like a work of art rather than like, okay, I'm playing these notes on a page. Like you're telling a story. Like musical theater. When you're singing a song, you're not just singing a song, you're telling a story. It has a purpose. This is exactly the same deal. So play from the beginning. I want to hear the whole thing. Don't freak yourself out either. I know it's like a ton, but just play, but like feel it this time, like really feel it. Because I really want you to get that sound. I think you're still kind of wispy. This is kind of what I'm hearing. Even after you fixed your bow, because I saw you kind of move it over, I'm still getting that same sound. I really want you to not be afraid to dig into the string. I don't want that, but I definitely don't want... You don't want that. I've heard you play like this before. I know you can do it. Imagine you need to put some effort into. I'm not trying to teach you with this exercise, though, like this, that you shouldn't try with your arm. You should put in a little bit of effort. You should just never strain anything, and natural weight is the easiest way to get that good sound. So I want you to feel the heaviness in your hand, which is going to help you. But also kind of melt into the string a little bit too. You're kind of like skimming over the surface, I feel like. And when this came around, it didn't sound any louder to me. And I think it's because you didn't have that nice sound. That's what I'm talking about. So I want you to try it again and really find, if you have to like play and then find it and then start over, that's fine too. But find that good sound so you have, the capability to kind of move up and down with it dynamic-wise. difference between that and what you played for me earlier was like insane, night and day. That's what I'm talking about. Now you don't have an excuse with your sound because I know that you are capable of having a really terrific sound. That's great. Make sure just overall you're keeping an eye on your intonation too, because I think it was getting a little bit off. Ba-da, that has never been high enough for me. Da-da-da-da. Make sure those are nice and high. I have arrows everywhere. Just kind of keep an eye on that. But everything else was really strong. The timing was great. You know, I could tell that you were really thinking deeper about it rather than like, okay, I have to play this and then I have to play this. Your dynamic contrast was a ton better. I still want more. You know, I think that you're kind of afraid to get that kind of crunch. It's okay if it happens on accident sometimes, you know. Dig in, you know, especially here. That was nice and you had a good build-up. You really, I mean, mezzo forte to forte, you should be able to hear a nice difference there. Take your time with it too and really throw it out there. It's very, you know, hello, here I am. But it was a lot better. You know, everything was consistent and it was good. There's one more thing that happens every time.
Yeah.
Da-da-ba-da. You still get that kind of break. This is what you're doing. And it kind of chops up the line a little bit. That's the only place you're doing it. It's so beautiful, and then you do that, and it's like, ooh, you know, so just think smooth. I know you have that string crossing, and trust me, I was not good with string crossings. They were horrible, they were choppy. I always got yelled at for that in my lessons. It's like a stroke with your arm. It shouldn't be you're doing it kind of mechanically, like, okay, I'm going here, and now I'm going here. Think of it more as one movement. You know, just try to smooth that out a little bit, because that's the only point I really see any separation. But everything else was great. I think this is going to be really terrific. And what's kind of cool now is because I've been shoving all of this down your throat for weeks and weeks and weeks. And now, because you still have, how much time do you have before this?
Like a week.
Okay. That's what I thought. So now is the time for you to put your own spin on it, because for me, when I would get a piece of music, you know, your teacher's always going to tell you do this, do that. But at the end of the day, it's really, when you get up on the stage, it's how you feel it. It's what you want it to be. So take everything that I told you, incorporate it. But if you feel something else while you're playing, just let it out. Like, I want you to feel free enough to kind of do it the way you want to. And I think that's really important too, because you never want, I mean, you don't want to play it exactly like me or exactly like somebody else, you know. That's why when, especially at school for me, like if a teacher tells me to listen to a recording, they'll be like, well, listen to a couple and then pick what you want, because you don't want to sound like a replica of something. And I know you won't, but, you know, kind of feel it the way you would feel it if you were singing. Do that too. I do it all the time. Take it and just go because the way you would sing it is most likely the way that you would play it. I think that's a really cool exercise too. My teachers would always make me sing, and it was always super embarrassing for me. So I'm like, I want to sing my piece. Like, you feel like you sound like an idiot, but do it. You know, it helps. It helps you learn where to take your breaths and where to kind of speed up and slow down. So do that too. But it's going to be great. I'm really proud of you. I think it sounds terrific. She's behind the camera over there, so she's not talking. But I think you're totally ready. Just remember everything. And most importantly, before your performance, just don't freak yourself out. I think that's the hardest thing, being, you know, a musician.
We can rehearse again, too. She'll rehearse with me with piano before.
Yeah. But, I mean, like, before you go in, just, we were kind of talking to Jack about this, too. I think you guys left. But, it's really important to just kind of center yourself before you go in, rather than like going in and kind of freaking out a little bit, you know. So if, I don't know how it works, if you stand in the hall and wait or what happens, but when you're waiting outside or wherever you are, just compose yourself, remind yourself that I've done this a million times and you're going to do it a million times, but, you know, it's going to be
And
great.
breathe.
Yeah, don't forget to breathe. That's important, too. We don't want you passing out in the middle of your piece. But, yeah, it's going to be great. Good job.